Hey all, Scott here. The Wii U is about 3 large footsteps away from the grave, and I thought it sounded pretty neat to kill time before it goes kathunk in a casket by having a Nintendo Switch wish sesh. So, here is my Nintendo Switch wish list. Everything I want to see from the next generation of Nintendo. Hey y'all, Scott here. The Nintendo Switch presentation is about to go underway, and oh my, oh me, I am so utterly excited. I've been a fan of Nintendo the vast majority of my life. I play and collect their games, I read into their history, I stay up to date with everything the company does. I'm like, what you would say, way into Nintendo. But recently, I've been very critical about the company. Frequently, it seems like they've been releasing games that just don't live up to the quality standard most Nintendo games boast. However, when the Switch was announced, I was gleefully excited, and I have been awaiting the moment Nintendo was going to pull back the curtains on their latest creations ever since. Because the Switch feels like a fresh start, a reboot for Nintendo. And this moment is nigh. In terms of predictions, I'm looking forward to seeing Nintendo exude mild embarrassment. Oh, and Pikmin! If Nintendo disappoints me, it's no biggie. I always have a bottle of Pepto-Bismol on standby just in case Nintendo makes me want to vomit my feelings out. Well, we might as well take a good pre-swig before everything goes downhill. Hey y'all, Scott here. The Smash Bros. Series has been the victim of countless leaks and rumors, as it's one of the most popular franchises ever constructed. With this popularity comes a thick stack of lame photoshopped farce, so I thought it'd be fun to take a look at most leaks and rumors involved with the franchise. So get ready to enter that relevant competency, cause we're gonna look at some garbage! Hey y'all, Scott here, and man oh man do I ever hate Nintendo. That's why I bought all of these games, just to make fun of them. Sigh, gosh, do I loathe this dumb company and all of their stupid loser fans. Fans who are all more than likely mega virgins. Me on the other hand, they call me the anti-virgin. Everybody who is or was at some point a virgin is a major loser, or as I like to call them, a Nintendo fan. Listen, I like the Wii U, but even I think people with a case of fanboyitis have to admit it wasn't Nintendo at their greatest. And I personally think it's a good time to reflect on the system, as the Switch is coming out and we want to make sure Nintendo doesn't do the same things all over again. And don't worry, we're going to be looking at what the Wii U did right too on another occasion. But for now, here are 6 problems the Wii U had. Hey y'all, Scott here. You know, I was recently adding a brand new copy of Madden 08 to my ever-growing collection when I contracted something. Depression! Hey y'all, Scott here. Death. It's pretty neat, right? Well, that's what the Wii U is up to these days, and during the era of Wii U, I had an alright time. There was a decent handful of great experiences on the platform. However, it obviously had a lot of problems, and I made a video about 6 of them, which you can view here, here, and even here. But we can't be so negative all the time, so here are 5 things the Wii U did right. Hey y'all, Scott here, and oh. Wow, things are starting to get a little too real. Well, I hope you're all finding good ways to pass the time before the Switch launches. I know I am. Here are my most wanted Switch games! My God. I think I finally get it. This beautiful, illustrious planet wasn't made to just sit inside and do some good old wholehearted thumb twiddling. No! It was made to be nurtured and protected, and to be made better every single day. I think I finally get it. I think I finally found my calling. Shit! Hey y'all, Scott here, and nature. What century is this? It totally slipped my mind that I have no sex waiting for me at home right now. The Nintendo Switch has officially launched, and it's bringing with games to play like Zelda and menus. This is technically the first game console I ever bought at launch, so let's see how long it takes to disappoint. Hey y'all, Scott here. Woo! Sorry about that. It's just, we're talking wars today, and I know what you're thinking, so I'll stop you right there. No, we're not talking about the Lebanese Civil War or the Yom Kippur War. We're talking console wars. A new console for self-proclaimed wusses launched recently, and many have discussed where it may fit within the current console race. But before we delve into that discussion, let's talk about console races of generations past. Hey y'all, Scott here. Listen, I hate things, and that includes clutter. Clutter scares the piss out of me, and I'm ready to get it out of my life ASAP and quickly. Jesus! You see, this is what I'm talking about. The whole concrete matter thing has been a fad for eons, and I'm ready to call it quits. Hey y'all, Scott here. Don't mind me, just wearing my nostalgia goggles here. These things are a bitch, I have no idea why people wear these. The 3DS is officially 6 years old, which means it has to go through what every 6-year-old has to experience at some point, being yelled at for existing. So, I thought it'd be fun to look back at my personal experiences with the system ever since 2011. Hey y'all, Scott here, and I have to say, I'm pretty tired of the whole having a reputation thing, so I decided to upload a video of me eating cereal to a pornographic website. I'm not a fan of having an image and a good one at that, so let's kill all remaining reputation I have after the whole cereal porn debacle by talking about how awful Breath of the Wild is, why Nintendo is doomed, and why I'm rooting for leprosy, because I'm that evil of a human being. Hey y'all, Scott here, and if you could excuse me, I'm playing a mobile game. Yep, today's just another one of those 3D Cartoon Land Safari kind of days. I just wish I could play these kind of games on my picture box. If only. Whoa! I didn't know irrelevancy could take the form of concrete matter! Guys, I am the target demographic for a microconsole. Just grab your nearest Merriam-Webster's dictionary and turn to the page with the definition for microconsole Fireman on it. You'll find my picture right then and there. Now, if you don't know what a microconsole is, please watch this video while lounging in a trash can, because you don't deserve luxury, freak, as I define to you what exactly it is. A microconsole is a small and inexpensive alternative to a standard games console. Games are downloadable, and most of these systems run a version of Android. Not all do, but that piece of information right there should tell you that these consoles are primarily engineered closely to smartphones and tablets. And that primarily means that a lot of mobile games can run on these things. Huh. Hey y'all, Scott here, and what am I doing, you just asked? Well, I'm currently coping with the atrocity I'm about to experience known as Star Fox Zero by drinking this top-of-the-line alcohol. Its taste derives from my thumb placement, which I refuse to change. If anything I need to know is underneath my thumb, well, it can wait, because I have stars to fox in. But before we do so, let's go back to a little year I like to call 1993. Hey y'all, Scott here. Some 420, right? Well, I hope you're all spending the holiday wisely, that being at an intervention, because smoking makes your neck look like this. That's worth at least a double yikes, right? Smoking is the 5th biggest cause of virginity in the US alone, and I think it's time to mark an end to the whole fumes thing. That's why I'm going to start smoking to stop smoking. Why would I do such a thing to make myself so anti-healthy? Well, nobody likes smoking. Hey y'all, Scott here. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is mere gallons away from releasing, being an enhanced port of one of the best Mario Karts ever made, and fixing almost every problem the original had. One may ask, is this the pinnacle of Mario Kart on the Nintendo Switch? No, it's not good enough. It's never good enough. Listen, I love Mario Kart 8, but seeing how Mario Kart is one of Nintendo's biggest franchises, I think it's a pretty sure thing we're going to be getting a new Mario Kart made from the ground up eventually, possibly for the Nintendo Switch. So I would like to discuss my personal wishes and ideas for a potential Mario Kart 9. Hey y'all, Scott here, and what you're hopefully looking at right now is one of my favorite water bottle brands out there, Lake on the Go from Water Productions. I'm pretty brand loyal to Water Productions, but I won't just buy anything from them willy-nilly. They really have to prove the worth of their product to me before I buy.
Water is back! Introducing Water ZEX Plus, the cooler, more anti-pussy way of staying hydrated. It's Water ZEX Plus from Water Productions. This ain't your granddad's water.
Well, I'm sold. Corporations have been reselling us the same products with a new coat of paint for eons, and video games are no different. Re-releases are a staple of the video game industry and have been prevalent ever since the very beginning. However, it seems like recently they're starting to take over in the form of definitive editions. Some people aren't too stoked about this, but I myself am way into it. Hey y'all, Scott here. Food, shelter, love, air, happiness. None of these play Mario Party 6, so I lost interest at Hey All, Scott here. The GameCube was one of Nintendo's worst-selling home consoles, which is a fact I'm trying to get redacted from Wikipedia, because in my opinion, the GameCube deserves so much more, and dare I say it, was Nintendo's best home console. Hey y'all, Scott here, and extra, read all about it. E3 2017 looms. Turns out the newspaper industry was struggling so hard they let virginity reign supreme, and now we're getting front-page headlines like this now. Hey y'all, Scott here. Say, have you ever been in homicidal levels of debt? Well, if you haven't, look no further because I'm the culmination of said debt. Let's talk about that. So a few months ago, I purchased this bad boy, the Triller Fixatron. It'll take any bad trailer you throw into it and make it somewhat presentable. The thing is, the bad trailer fixer industry crashed recently and now nobody wants Fixatrons anymore. If you ever recall walking down the street with one of these things, oh boy. But I love this thing, and only after purchasing it did I realize it only cost 12 grand to have fun. Hey y'all, Scott here, and 0.57 square feet was so 1985. Make way for the future, old man. 0 square feet is here, except at your local Best Buy due to discontinuation. Hey y'all, Scott here, and I am a Climax buff, and let me tell you, being said buff makes filling out applications a breeze. The pinnacle climax moment of any event is definitely one to remember, which makes the final smash of your chosen character in Smash Bros. An important one. So let's take a look at every single final smash in existence and rank them from my least favorite to favorite. Hey y'all, Scott here, and have you heard? Benito Mussolini faked his death and is making a comeback this E3 in the form of a reboot. Just a rumor though, I would tell you to take it with a grain of salt, but this rumor deserves at least a shaker full of that stuff, because I have some pretty trustworthy sources. With E3 going forth with the classic happening right now tactic it always seems to pull this time of year, I think it's high time to take a look back at just a few E3 rumors from the past few years.
Hey y'all, Scott here, and my review of E3
2017.
is hot off the presses. So off the presses, in fact, that I had to resort to using this pre-made intro I made years ago back in
2013.
Now I hope that doesn't kill the immersion for you. Getting a review out of E3
2017.
this quickly required some setbacks. And now onto the segment where I disclose my
Opinion.
I was
Disappointed.
in E3.
2017.
Hey y'all, Scott here. You ever look at a baby and you're like, F yeah, now that's what I call a baby! And then 4 years later you're like, well, that's a lot more underwhelming looking back at it all. Super Mario 3D World. Hey y'all, Scott here, and you call me just tuning into my favorite 50s sitcom. It's the Shit Givers! Yep, that's not me. I really need to take a page out of the Shit Givers book and start giving a shit more. I want to be better than everybody else, so I decided to cut out fast food and to exercise more. Weirdly enough, it turned out the parking lot I threw Pop-Its in was to a gym. But then, right before I was about to sign up for a 1-month all-inclusive free trial, I decided I wouldn't waste all my money and I'd bring the gym to me in the form of fitness-related video games. These games were incredibly prominent in the 7th generation of game consoles with the popularity of the Wii and the Kinect. Hey y'all, Scott here, and apparently Smash Bros. Only has 5 stages according to competitive play. Bunch of prudes. I personally have Rainbow Cruise blood in me, so in terms of my most wanted Smash Bros. Stages, get ready for a whole lot of wackiness! Hey y'all, Scott here. Sega died as a hardware manufacturer and simply became a third party. Now allow me to explain this whole charade to you with an example without mentioning video games in the slightest. Let's say Chiquita is rolling in the dough from their world-famous homemade handcrafted banana bunches. Let's say Dole steps in there with way better banana bunches, so Chiquita decides to attempt to sell you an extra banana to your pre-existing bunch, while also trying to sell you the next generation of banana bunches, which they barely support 3 years down the line, because then the comeback happens with their rebooted banana bunch. But at that point, it's too late. It's a really cool banana bunch, but Dole steps in with their banana bunch too, and at this point, Chiquita must step down and become a third-party banana company. Yeah, most video game industry problems don't really relate to banana companies that well. Hey y'all, Scott here, and welcome to New Franchise Watch, where we find new IPs so you don't have to. Today we're gonna try and lure a new IP by using 2 of its favorite things: no audience and a shoestring budget. Fuck, there it is! Had to fight to wrangle this sucker up a bit, but lo and behold, the elusive ARMS. You see, it's elusive because nobody bought it. Ooh. Hey y'all, Scott here. And don't mind me, just passing the time by spending money on passing the time. Wait a tick, I should be more relatable to the everyday common man. I should be a poverty. This blows! As you can see, I'm bunkered in somebody's attic here due to me going through a little phase I like to call homeless. Hey y'all, Scott here, and would you shut up for like a minute because I'm trying to focus on my Kinect Sports Season 2 speedrun. If I screw this up, the KSS 2 speedrunning community won't let me hear the end of it.
And up to bat comes a very promising new talent. Slows it right down. Strike.
Wow, I didn't know humiliation came included with this thing. Hey y'all, Scott here, and welcome to a new segment I like to refer to as Tales from the Backlog. Man, what a scary intro. I could shit myself all day to that thing. Tales from the Backlog is going to cover me going through games that have sat on my shelf for eons and having me finally take a look at them. So let's go ahead and pick a game at random. Gravity Rush. This is the remastered version. It was originally released on the PlayStation Vita in 2012 and made its way to the PS4 in early 2016. Hey y'all, Scott here, and before you ask, honestly, what does it look like I'm doing? Scott here. Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Genesis. One of the most iconic video games of all time, no doubt, but many have considered it to have aged poorly. Now, in terms of my opinion of it, just a warning, I grew up with the game, so I'm biased. Hey y'all, Scott here, and this game blows. It could really use some plastic shit. Hi! Oh, thank God. Hey y'all, Scott here, and EW! Always keep a frying pan handy. You never know when a 7 out of 10 game is gonna strike, because Hey y'all, Scott here. Hey y'all, Scott here, and EW! Always keep a frying pan handy. You never know when a 7 out of 10 game is gonna strike, because obviously all those games are hot trash. I personally only play the highest quality games there are. So let's take a look at the greatest games of all time, according to Metacritic. Hey y'all, Scott here, and I'm on the verge of a little thing I like to call a breakthrough. You see, after I was tasked with doing taste tests on the worst games of all time according to Metacritic, I thought, there must be somebody behind this many games that bad. And after extensively looking through this Sunday's paper, I've narrowed it down to one suspect. Mr. Scoliosis. The world-renowned mastermind himself. Problem is, nobody's ever tracked him down. And I'd have to do that to get down to the bottom of what made these games so bad.
Ah, my f***ing back.
That must be him! Yeah, it turns out those games were bad due to mismanagement, not because of some guy with a curved spine. Hey y'all, Scott here, and you know what I could go for right now? A working kidney. I have 3 days to live. All here, hey Scott, and don't mind me, just recuperating from the kidney transplant. I asked why they had to cut open my head for the transplant, and they were like, oh, you're just delusional from the transplant. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense, the transplant hasn't happened yet. And they were like, don't make stupid observations. Anyways, I found a refurbished kidney online, and to help pay for it, I had to make the tough decision to sell my NES Classic. So, looks like we're gonna have to turn to the alternative mini-consoles. Hey y'all, Scott here, and... well, this is awkward. Let's put an end to that. This here is a state-of-the-art It's That Time machine. It formulates a topic that's embarrassingly topical, so you always have something trendy to converse about. Looks like it's forming something now. Oh, that was lame. Don't get me wrong, I love talking about E3 1996 and October 2017 as much as the next guy, but come on, 97 and 98 are way in these days. But that kind of got me on an E3 1996 kick, so let's talk about the second annual Electronic Entertainment Expo. E3. Hey y'all, Scott here, and don't you just hate it when your final words are Frogger for the SNES? I think the SNES knows how that feels. Hey y'all, Scott here, and brace yourselves because I have... natural selections of bitch, isn't it? Hey y'all, Scott here. If we're gonna be talking about the Wii, we might as well get this out of the way. The Wii is one of the most polarizing game consoles ever released. Many say it was nothing more than just a virtual bowling dust collector, and while that may be true, I personally believe that while it was very flawed, the Wii was also heavily underrated. Hey y'all, Scott here, and happy Independence. I would have said day, but I'm such a busy guy, so much so that I'm making my jack-o'-lanterns now so I don't have to in October. Pumpkins are hard to come by this time of year. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And did you hear that? Either I'm in a really shitty neighborhood or it's Halloween. I can't tell you how excited I am for the season. I recently ate an entire fucking pumpkin in preparation, and I must say I'm definitely more pumpkin than man at this point. And I also followed the simple 9-step plan to affirm that I'm going to rake in the most possible trick-or-treaters this year. It's absolutely foolproof. I'm gonna be having kids camping outside my house for the midnight release of this whole Halloween thing. Anyways, Halloween is a thing. So it's time for some spooks and scares to give us some jeeps and creeps. Let's talk about a game that is the cornucopia of brainwashing and suicidal thoughts. Yep, everybody's favorite, Polybius. Now you may be saying, Scott, so many other people have talked about Polybius. Have you truly run out of ideas? Well, yeah, just don't say it like that. So grab your nearest 3-month-old rotten watermelon and lend an ear. On with the spook. Hey all, Scott here. Welcome to another installment of Tales from the Backlog. A while back I stated my intentions on playing through the large backlog of Zelda games I've never played. But now that I beat Breath of the Wild, who knows, maybe I can beat all the Zelda games and make some killer and overhyped Scott the Woz episodes about them. You may have thought I forgot, well the joke's on you. To help me remember, I've kept this string tied to my finger for the past 7 months. I've seen what hell looks like. Hey y'all, Scott here, and it truly is absolutely astonishing what can happen in 10 years. Hey y'all, Future Scott here, and welcome to 2027, where I wear a chef hat now, and where Robo-Ebola reigns supreme. It's a 2027 thing, you wouldn't understand. Man, I was expecting to see a gravestone, but a Robo-Ebola epidemic works too. But I think it's about time we roll the clock back 10 years instead, to the release of one of the greatest things Nintendo ever spat out. Hey y'all, Scott here, and raise your hand if you've been waiting for the Xbox One X for 3 hours at the wrong store. Yeah, I didn't pick up an Xbox One X, but I did pick up a few games, and yep, I finally bought into consumerism, which isn't that big of a deal. I'm a pretty big pushover. I'll buy into anything a store associate tells me to.
Paper or plastic?
Oh, I don't need anything.
Really, sir? Everybody needs a bag.
I'm a fucking maniac, and I just can't help it, so I'm not looking forward to Black Friday this year. I mean, they had printers for $20 last year, and I'm a sucker I can't resist. Hey y'all, Scott here, and I'm in a predicament. You see, I don't want to be called a pussy, so I'll play Call of Duty, but I want to be a pussy while playing Call of Duty. Hey y'all, Scott here, and I could certainly go for a definition right about now. Well, times 3. Localize, to make or become local. Well, at least one of us found our calling today, and if you excuse me, I'm going to be ordering a shipment of notebooks to localize for the Tucson, Arizona area so they can more clearly understand them. They just don't get it over there. I know, finally, someone's standing up for the people of Tucson, right? Hey y'all, Scott here, and it's finally time to put my logic to the test with my brand new advice column. Dear Scott, people constantly make fun of my eyebrows. What should I do? God, I hate facial hair. Get rid of them. Dear Scott, not advice, just a question. Have you ever killed somebody? No. Dear Scott, which is better, Super Mario Odyssey or The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? Oh, thank God you asked that. I had no idea how I was going to fill the next 20 minutes. Hey y'all, Scott here, and do I ever have a beef with the National Calendar Society? Months are opinions, not statements, so welcome to the month of Bluth. You see, I was always bummed by the fact there weren't a lot of holidays leading up to Christmas. December is just a month of filler with a climax at the very end, so I've effectively moved the first 23 days of Christmas into its own month Bluth with tons of new holidays. Today just so happens to be Why is Scott wearing that hat day. The only problem with the month of Bluth is that the last 6 days are reserved strictly for empathy. So it looks like I have some time to kill before Christmas, and what better way to pass the time than to look through some mail? I'm sold.